on the Texas A&M Sports Network. From Learfield, live from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue on Harvey Road in College Station. Welcome to the Joni Taylor Coaches Show, presented by Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit Rudy's.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. And by Twisted Tea, hard iced tea for the 12th man. Please drink responsibly. Now, the Joni Taylor Coaches Show.
Rudy's Barbecue. I'm Steve Miller, along with the head coach, Joni Taylor. It is the Joni Taylor Radio Show, and we appreciate you being out here at Rudy's. May we be among the very last to wish you Happy New Year, and hope your new year is going great. If you looking to find us tonight, we're here on Harvey Road in College Station. We'll be here until 7 o'clock, as we are most Tuesdays throughout the rest of the season from 6 until 7 o'clock. The Aggies are 12-1 overall. They have won 10 straight games. 9 straight at home when you start carving out that sort of stuff. And the Aggies are receiving votes in the AP Top 25. Things seem to go good. Happy New Year, Joni.
Happy New Year, Steve. Happy New Year, guys. How are we doing? Yeah, I'm really excited about how we finished off the non-conference. And, you know, I think we've talked about this before, but those games before Christmas and the one right after Christmas always make you nervous as a coach. Your players are thinking about going home, as they should be. Some of them have not been home since they reported in summer school. Some got to go home in August. Some did not. No, but there's no class. Their routine is all jacked up. They've laid in bed all day. and so you just worry that everything you've been fighting for inch by inch, taking the next step, like you just hope that they put a good product on the floor, you know, to finish out the holidays. And I can't say how proud I am of how we showed up those 2 games before Christmas and on the 31st.
Well, when you look about of your schedule, especially during the holidays when town is not as active as it has been, and you talk about everybody's gone, do you like to hold that practice in the morning or in the afternoon, or do you kind of pick middle of the day? How do you approach trying to schedule during the breaks?
We do a little bit of both. You know, we're fortunate to have a lot of different. So before Christmas, some of their morning time was devoted to doing some Christmas shopping. After Christmas, we had conditioning workouts in the morning, and then we had practice in the afternoon. So we've done it a few different ways, but at least by 10 or 11, we're trying to get them up and get in front of them so they can get going and not sleep all day.
With the team being 12-1, you've finished the non-conference games. No more non-conference games. Conference play is here. Before we talk about conference play, what are your thoughts about how non-conference play went for you and the team?
I thought it went really well. Obviously, the only other thing that could have been better was to not have that one on the other side of our record. But I've said it. I'll say it again. We needed that Purdue game to happen, and really proud of our response since that moment. I think we're exciting to watch. We play really hard defensively. We're in the top in the country, not only in our conference but in the country, in a lot of defensive categories, which is what we want to do and who we want to be all the time. We've got a lot of depth. We've got a lot of options. And so it's just you never know whose night it's going to be. So it's fun to coach. It really is.
That Purdue game you referenced was the 3rd game of the season in the 2nd week. A&M went over to Purdue, lost 72-58. You never know how the team is going to respond. And while you may not spend a whole lot of time talking about that game specifically, or maybe you do, the response seems to have been positive. What was a couple of things that you've seen have continued after that game in a positive move for the team?
I think our intensity defensively has just continued to get better. You know, the one thing I'll say is we have a team of people who like to hear the truth. They really do, and that's not always the case with young people, especially when they are talented. They think they're better than what they are. But we have a group who wants to be really good, so they want to be coached hard, and they can accept the truth. And so we had a really truthful conversation after Purdue, and we watched the film, and after that we moved on from it. But we addressed some things, and they've continued to keep that top of mind as we've moved on.
When you talk about the defense that this team is showing, it's been a really nice progression to go through. A&M is one of the top 2 teams in the country in field goal shooting percentage defense. And describe to people what that really means. We kind of look at that stat and talk about it as if we know what it means, but what does it really mean?
So everybody has a percentage, a free throw percentage, a field goal percentage. That's where you shoot from anywhere on the field. And then there's a 3-point field goal percentage. And so when you get a stat sheet, you see all of it. You see what the free throw percentage is. You see the overall field goal that counts everything. And then you see what the attempts from three are. And so for us to be number one in the country in that category means that it is really hard for people to score against us. And that's what we want. We want them to take contested jump shots every single night, and we want them to force them into their plan B. So whatever we watch film and identify as plan A, if plan A is ball screen offense, if plan A is transition, if plan A is for them to shoot 23s a game, we've got to take that away. We never want a team to have plan A, and we want to force them into plan B. And if we can do that, then we're cooking with grease oil, as my granny would say.
That's right. And with that goes scoring defense, which is limiting the number of points. So if they can't shoot it, then they can't score it.
Right.
And probably the thing that we've seen a lot lately is the number of rebounds. Texas A&M is getting. Some of those were shots that A&M may have missed. We'll leave those alone. But
we're padding our stats a little bit.
We're just kind of building some things there. But the defensive rebounds is super key.
Well, we look at our team. It was one of the things we identified in our goals this year on both sides of the ball that we should be dominant in and finish in the top four, and rebounding was one of those categories because of our size. I mean, Tahara Jones is really, really taking on rebounding the basketball. She's flying through the air like Superwoman a lot of the time. I'm going in there. And so that's just the area where we felt like we could really dominate. So when we look at our team and the makeup of our team after being with them all summer, we try to say, okay, what could we be really elite at? Not good, but elite. And so we gave them those four things on offense and on defense, and rebounding is one of them that showed up on both sides.
MJ Johnson has been one of those players who's come on and found rebounding as a key to her season. This last game, while she wasn't able to score the points that she wanted to, she managed to get 15 rebounds. Her previous high was only 8. How does that come about? And 10 of those were defensive rebounds, meant 5 were offense.
I think MJ has continued to get better every time she stepped on the floor. I have to remind myself that this is her first year of basketball. I mean, she didn't play for 2 years, and then last year she tore her ACL. And so she still feels like she's behind the 8 ball in terms of learning our system and figuring out what we want. And so you just see her doing this. And she is frustrated at times with some of the things that she misses, but she's really taken to heart the role we've asked her to play, which is to come in and be a defender for us, rebound the basketball, and bring high energy.
Looking not to compare last year's team to this year's team, but roster development was a key thing for you in the offseason. As you look to see how the roster has changed from last year to this year, what are your thoughts at the midpoint in this season?
I think we addressed that pretty well. And not only just with our 8 newcomers, but the development of our current roster. I don't want to go without saying how hard our returners worked on their game. And that was one of the things that we challenged them with and said, hey, listen, life will be miserable for you here if this is not what you want. I mean, Jada can tell you when she comes up here, that's exactly what we said. Because we want to do things a certain way. We want to win at a high level. We want to play really, really hard and compete for championships. And so let's do a deep dive here and figure out, number one, if this is what you want. And if it is, then here's this sheet of paper, and this is the things we need to address. And so our current roster has done our returning roster has done a really good job of addressing some things and really addressing some weaknesses they had and building on their strengths. And with the along with the addition of our 8 newcomers.
So they had to build on their strengths.
Yes.
and look at that. And then for many of them assume different roles as the roster develops. That also takes some mental prowess as well.
It does, and I think that speaks to your heart, right? That speaks to your character. Sydney Bowles started last year. She's coming off the bench. KK started last year. She's coming off the bench. They haven't said a word. I don't expect them to say a word. And I think that just goes into like who we are as a team, the culture we try to create, and the chemistry we have.
As we begin conference play, we'll talk more about that as the show goes along. But conference play is here. Where do you see A&M stacking up before we play a conference game? Some of the other conferences, they already played a couple of games or so. And that's been some crazy stuff we've seen around the country already. But the SEC time starts this Thursday.
We had a long conversation about the conference today before we started film. And you write those 13 other names on the board, and I mean, it's hard to pick a game and say, all right, this one's a win. this league is so dang hard. And any given night, if you don't come out and play and give your best, like, you're facing a loss. And so that's what's special about this league. That's why you come to the SEC. I know it's very cliche, but it does mean more. Where we stack up, if, like I told our team today, if we keep our head down and we focus and we keep the main thing, and don't look to the right and to the left and get caught up in points and the paper or the possible rankings or any of those other things, we have a chance to do some really, really special things in this league this year. But it's going to take all of us, and it's going to take all of us staying healthy, being locked in, and doing our job every single night.
So the Aggies start at Georgia. That's this Thursday, 6 o'clock. And then it is 3 in a row against the 3 opponents that you play twice. Kind of quirky how that works. Auburn next Sunday here at Reed Arena, then at LSU and Tennessee. Just some thoughts on the teams you have to play twice this season.
Well, obviously we play LSU twice every year. That's our rival. This will be the last year we do that, though, because with Texas and Oklahoma coming in, we'll play everybody just once. So this is the last year of home and home with LSU. And then with Auburn and Tennessee, it's just a draw. They literally put the names in a little bowl and they draw it out, and it's drawn out for years to come, so we can go down the line and know who those 2 opponents would have been. You know, there's years that you've gotten a draw and you're like, oh, okay, I'll take that. And then there's years you're like, really? We drew that team twice? Again? It is what it is in this league. So the good thing is we were familiar with those teams. We're very familiar with LSU. We're very familiar with Auburn. I would think we have a bit of a cheat sheet now that AC's on our side. And we're familiar with Tennessee as well.
And with the schedule, this isn't like the NFL where they start looking at strength of schedule, how you finished last year. The schedule just happens to be the common opponent. Other than that, you just play everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
There's no bonus for a team that may finish lower in the rankings or higher in the rankings. Everybody gets the same. It's just that lucky piece of 3 opponents, if you will. So the Aggies, again, 12-1 overall. What a great start to the season. 10 straight overall to enter conference play, and the Aggies play Georgia. That's this Thursday, 6 o'clock. You can listen here on the A&M Sports Network locally. That'll be Zone 1150, or watch on the SEC Network Plus. All right, coming up on the program, we will have our graduate assistant, Nancy Mulkey, also Jada Malone and Kyndall Hunter. Got all of that, plus more with Joni Taylor. I'm Steve Miller. We're live from Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Joni Taylor Radio Show from Learfield. Head on over to your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com to place an order for their real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. And don't forget, Rudy serves made-to-order and grab-and-go breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. We're back on the Joni Taylor Radio Show. We are at Rudy's Barbecue here on Harvey Road in College Station. With Joni Taylor, I'm Steve Miller. The Aggies are 12-1 overall, 1-10 straight, getting set to begin SEC play. That's Thursday, 6 o'clock. They'll be at Georgia. And then on Sunday, the Aggies will be at home, and they'll host Auburn at 3 p.m. And you can listen to both the games on the A&M Sports Network or watch on the SEC Network or SEC Network Plus. And we are pleased to be joined by our graduate assistant, Nancy Mulkey. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, great. So we have a graduate assistant title. So tell me what that means, because we could hand those out like cookie and chips if we wanted to. So what is a graduate assistant?
I mean, a graduate assistant really entails just one. I would like to become a coach someday, so just gaining that knowledge and experience outside of being an athlete, learning the day-to-day operations, being involved in practice, learning the technology aspect. So really a graduate assistant, and thankfully with Joni, I'm able to do a little bit of everything, which, like I said, I'm grateful for. And so I just dove right in, and I'm eager to learn any and everything that can help me excel in the future.
What are the top 2 or 3 things that you're responsible for on this coaching staff?
I would say, one, I'm a geek for technology, and so I will help out with anything technology related. And then my basketball experience, being able to give my perspective and just ideas to better help the staff.
You've had quite a basketball career. When did you start playing basketball?
I would say I started playing basketball when I was young. I joined my mom put me in the YMCA, obviously, just to start out. Played soccer and volleyball throughout, but decided to stay with basketball just because there were many more opportunities there. And so played middle school, high school, and then college basketball.
And where did you play your high school and middle school ball? What part of the country?
So middle school, I was living in Bowling Green, Kentucky at the time. I've moved quite a few times, but I'm from Cypress, Texas, I say, just because I've moved so many times. And I went to Cypress Woods High School, played basketball there, won the state championship, I think, in 2015. And so that team, we were pretty stacked with Division I basketball players. We had Erica and Olivia Gumake, Kate Reese, Tatiana Perez, and then me, Jazz Williams, who I think was actually here, played basketball here. So just really had an amazing team that helped us be successful.
So where was the first stop on your collegiate basketball career? Many people know it, but just reconfirm for everyone.
My first stop was Oklahoma University in Norman, Oklahoma.
It's a hard trivia question.
Yeah. Played my freshman year there. I'm grateful for that experience. Without that experience, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so, unfortunately, that wasn't for me, and I decided to enter the transfer portal. Decided to go to Rice University, not too far from home, about 45-minute drive from Cypress, from where I was living. Played basketball there, got my undergraduate degree there in kinesiology. And then with COVID, I had originally opted for the WNBA draft, but then my head coach got the University of Washington head coach position there. And so I decided to withdraw my name, decided to go to Seattle, Washington for my COVID year, for my last year, and got a master's in intercollegiate athletic leadership there. And then once I was done there, I was set to go to occupational therapy school in Belmont. I moved to Nashville from Seattle, realized that was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay in basketball. And so at the very last minute, my head coach reached out to Coach Joni over here. And, it was a very last minute decision. Coach Joni said that she would love to have a graduate assistant. Thankfully, it was me. And so I actually was on the foreign tour with UW. This was in August, mind you. School started, I think, August 21st, somewhere around there. She was texting me, calling me, and granted, the time change. It was completely different time zones. I had to write my essay for the application in an 8-hour window. And so as we're driving on a charter bus to another country, I'm knocking out this essay.
Why is this not surprising?
Getting this thing done. I said, we are going to make this happen. And so long story short, got the application submitted, and I was accepted the day classes started.
Into Texas A&M? At
Texas A&M, yes, sir.
School 3, 4, or 5? Well, how many acceptances somewhere in here? I've lost count.
Quite a few.
All right, and so let's review your degrees, because you have a degree with an S, so we have degrees. So let's review your academics here.
A bachelor's in kinesiology.
All right.
A master's in education and intercollegiate athletic leadership. That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. And
then this one here at Texas A&M is a master in recreation and youth development.
Excellent.
So yeah.
How about that?
I just wouldn't be like, this degree and this opportunity would not be possible without Coach Joni. And so I've told her before, I'm beyond grateful for this experience, and just to learn from her and her staff and be able to pick their brains and just expand on what I have already learned as a player and just implement that into a coach's mindset.
All right, we're going to throw a curveball to these folks. You have an affection for true crime podcasts and movies. Is that accurate?
I do, unfortunately.
I think you have an addiction. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes. Yeah.
Do we like the podcast more or the movies and docuseries more?
I'm a visual learner, so definitely the docuseries.
Okay, what's the craziest one that you've seen that you can actually tell in a public on a radio situation? We don't need too gruesome, just a topic, maybe a part of the country.
I mean, I think everybody has heard about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She was just recently released on parole or probation. I watched the Hulu show. I've watched the HBO Max series that was done on her and what she endured. It's just very interesting to me, and so it's a weird obsession, I guess you could say.
Do you have yourself wanting to try to go out and solve crime and mysteries?
Oh, no. I'll leave that to the experts.
Okay, you just like to be entertained by it.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a fascinating time. We always hear what the latest ones are, for sure. All right, so tell us what you think about the team so far and how things are going.
I think this team is phenomenal. They come in every day wanting to get better and learning. And it's really cool to see from the beginning of the year, from our very first summer practice with everyone to now, and just see how everyone is bought in and is just ready to hit the ground running for SEC time.
Yeah, it's exciting. All right, Nancy, thank you for joining us. Our graduate assistant, Nancy Mulkey, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, coming up on the show, we've got Kyndall Hunter and Jada Malone. We're live from Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Joni Taylor Radio Show from Learfield. Howdy, Ag. Steve Miller here, inviting you all to visit Costa Vida Fresh Mexican Grill. It's Baja-style Mexican made from scratch daily, serving breakfast, tacos, lunch, and dinner. It's Aggie-owned and operated in South College Station. We are back on the Joni Taylor Radio Show. We're at Rudy's Barbecue here in College Station on Harvey Road. Come on by and join us. We're here most Tuesday nights throughout the basketball season with Joni Taylor. I am Steve Miller. Texas A&M 12-1 right now on the year, getting ready to travel to Georgia, and they'll take on the Dogs on Thursday. 6 o'clock will be the game time. You can hear it on Zone 1150 or watch on SEC Network Plus. And then we're looking forward to seeing everybody out this Sunday when A&M hosts Auburn, 3 o'clock at Reed Arena. So looking forward to that. We are joined by Kyndall Hunter, everybody. About that.
Hi.
Welcome. So Kyndall's from Houston area, North Houston, north side of Houston, Cypress area, and didn't start at Texas A&M. We don't have to say out loud where you went, where the other school across the way. You know, how did you end up over there?
I came to the light. That's all that matters.
Recruiting is challenging in high school. When you were a McDonald's All-American, a big-time player, and you have to make choices. Mm-hmm. How did you come up to make the choice? Let's not talk about that choice. How about the choice to come to Texas A&M?
So a lot of people don't know that when I was graduating, there was COVID. So I didn't get any official visits or anything like that. Yeah. So actually, when I decided to enter the portal, I talked to Joni, and I was like, I think I want to take an official. Like, I felt the relationship was really genuine, and I enjoyed it. And I came on my official visit and committed on the spot.
What was it about Texas A&M and Joni that helped you make that decision?
Like I said, it was really, really, really genuine. Like, everything, I saw everything. I didn't feel like it was a show or they were just trying to show me the best things. Like, Joni's very upfront and honest with me, and I could tell that, like, how they interact with everybody and the players and the coaches. Like, that's what I really, really wanted. It was a great relationship with my coach, and I felt like basketball would take care of itself. But I also feel like I would be in a great position for basketball.
So speaking of basketball, what's a timeline for you to get on the court?
I'm not exactly sure. I will say that I'm really, really, really close.
Yeah.
I have great trainers, great physical therapy here. So hopefully pretty soon.
Do you like to talk about your injury?
Yeah, that's fine.
Tell us about your injury.
I tore my Achilles a couple days. How many days?
Like 3 days before she was reporting to summer school.
A couple of days before I got here. I had surgery, like, thankfully very quick.
How painful is an Achilles tear? Has anybody in here had an Achilles tear? Joni, you did it. Anybody else want to join that club? I mean, I don't want to be a part of that club.
Oh, you do not.
What is it like?
Honestly, at first I thought someone stepped on the back of my foot. Like, I was playing pickup and I felt the pop. I'm like, looking behind me like, why are they still playing when she just stepped on the back of my foot? Then I quickly noticed that it was something very serious, but I don't think it hurt as bad as you would think.
What's it feel like after you said somebody? Is it something that just becomes really loose? I mean, is it an immediate pain?
Well, I'm a little dramatic.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
So once I realized that it was something that was pretty serious, I just sat down. I didn't really move it anymore after that.
Did you scream? So there may have been some outburst, immediate outburst, or was it a delayed outburst?
No, it wasn't immediate. It was, I look back and then I took a step and I'm like, not good. And I just sat on the ground and then the hysterics started after that. Oh,
it was hysterics. I guess we've had some players who may have, stubbed their toe and believe that that's the end of the world and life is over as we know it. That wasn't quite you?
Well, I feel like I'm the type of person, like if I slam my finger in the door, it is a problem. But when I tore my Achilles, I feel like I handled it much better than I would think.
Yeah, no, I think that's a pretty legit one. And typically everyone can hear the pop. Mm-hmm. At least the one I was around. I heard the thing. It was on a basketball floor as well. Joni, was that similar to your experience in doing the Achilles injury?
Yeah, I tore my Achilles 2 months after having JC, my first child. I thought I'd stretched, thought I was still young, and got out there and was demonstrating something. I literally went to set a screen and I said, "Who kicked me?" I have a pretty high pain tolerance, so it didn't hurt. But as soon as I took a step, you could tell, like, it feels like your foot is detached from your leg, but you still see it there. And that's how you know something is wrong.
Yeah, very bad.
It feels like it's dangling. It feels like it's not there. So,
were you at the practice that this happened at?
For Kyndall?
Yes.
No, she was still in Houston playing pickup.
Okay, you were still playing. Yeah. Oh, you were playing pickup even. Oh, so you're trying to do your part to get better.
Right.
So tell us about the rehab. To me, that doesn't seem like an easy rehab of all the things you could rehab from, but maybe not.
I honestly, very, very grateful, but my rehab hasn't really been too bad. I think my hardest thing was being on the scooter. I didn't like the scooter. I was on the scooter for a very long time.
This is a knee scooter?
Yes.
Were you you run around, you got one knee on it, and you're skating around?
Well, honestly, Joni kind of made me start using the scooter. I just wanted to crutch around. I didn't feel secure on the scooter. But as far as my rehab, it hasn't been too bad. I feel like if you attack it with the right mindset, it's really just what you want to do. And I feel like that's why I've been able to recover so quick.
Have you got to do a little individual, just yourself in a basketball and doing any shooting?
Yes, I was doing that right after my surgery.
Oh, that's great, yeah.
Just sitting in a chair, doing things like that, just making sure that I don't feel too detached from the sport because it can get like that just when you're not able to do much in a cast, in a boot, on crutches. But I have been in the gym constantly, consistently. That's, I think, what keeps me motivated to attack my rehab.
Most of the folks here haven't seen you play. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what your game is. What kind of player are you?
That's a loaded question. I'm really whatever I need to be. But if I could describe myself, I would say I'm a pretty up-tempo guard. I can score all three levels and I just make plays, honestly.
Joni, what are you looking forward in getting her back?
First of all, I want to go back a couple steps and say we need to get a picture of this scooter. Because the scooter was pink and green.
Oh my goodness!
Decorated.
Oh.
We've got to find a picture.
Is that custom paint job? Because I don't remember seeing that at the store.
We've got to find a picture of this scooter, first of all. Okay.
Yeah. I duct taped it with my friends.
She had a basket on it with all of her stuff. It was blinged out. I mean, this wasn't just a scooter. I want to make sure we give the scooter its due. Right. So we were going to use that scooter.
It took on a new life.
Yeah, we were going to use the scooter. Let me say this: I've torn my Achilles. The way she attacked rehab was really impressive. Really, really impressive. It's not easy to not be non-weight bearing for 6 weeks and then to start over, learn how to walk, learn how to play basketball again. And I used to go home every day and say, Kyndall is killing it. Kyndall's killing it. So I want to say that. In terms of her game, she's everything she said. She's up-tempo. She's a 3-level scorer. Every time she shoots it, I think it's going in. So she's going to be able to space the floor for us with her ability to shoot the basketball. And what makes her dangerous is when they come out and guard, and then she can go by them. So I'm excited to see that. What I haven't been able to see her do, just because she hasn't been able to do it, is pass it. So I don't know if she passes it or not.
Of course I do. I make plays.
But she can score it.
Yeah, the real test is when the shooters pass. That's a whole nother level. Tell us about what your major is at A&M. Or what it is right now, because it could change a million times, right?
Yes, I'm agricultural leadership major.
Yeah.
But I plan on going to PA school.
Oh, to be a doctor?
A physician assistant. Yes.
Well, you've got some unfortunate experience in the profession. I know,
and I wanted to be orthopedic, so I'm like, okay, this is kind of helping me out, because when I would go to my doctor's appointments, I would see the PA sometimes, and then I'd see my surgeon. So I'm like, okay, I'm like asking him, like, how do you feel about your job? Like, what do you think is best? I'm like, okay, I can do this. Like, he doesn't hate his job.
Do they think they appreciate you asking all those personal questions there?
I don't know, but I just asked anyway.
Usually it's the other way around, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How was your Christmas break?
It was good. I got to bring a couple of my teammates home. Erica Moon and Tanea actually spent Christmas with me. So
cool.
It's really exciting.
Did they behave?
Erica did. Tanea not so much.
Not so much, yeah. Canadian.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But I got to bring her to my dad's job. My dad's a fire chief. And so she was really, really excited, because she loves, like, fire station shows, like Station 19 and stuff like that. So she was really, really excited. So I was happy that I got to do that.
Did they dress up in the gear?
Did she?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No? Why?
I don't know. I don't think she wanted to. It was more like a little tour.
Didn't, like, jump up in the fire truck behind them?
Oh, she did.
Oh,
she
okay.
did do that.
So pictures exist?
And lots of pictures.
Oh, good.
Many pictures.
Those will be needed very soon, someday, right? Excellent. All right. Well, we're looking forward to getting you back on the court, and hope your rehab continues to go great.
Thank you.
All right. That's Kyndall Hunter, everybody. We are live from Moody's Barbecue. It's the Joni Taylor Radio Show from Learfield. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12thman.com/maroon contest and register. One winner and a guest will receive game tickets, a VIP tour of Reed Arena, and will be recognized on the video board during the game. Register today at 12thman.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. We're back at Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Joni Taylor Radio Show. I'm Steve Miller with Coach Joni Taylor. Texas A&M 12-1 right now, getting set to take on Georgia. That's Thursday at 6 o'clock. And then the Aggies return home to start the home portion of SEC play that Sunday at 3 o'clock. We are joined by none other than Jada Malone. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing great. Last year started in half the games for Texas A&M. Looking for a big season this year. And then what happened?
Yeah, so I tore my meniscus over the off season. Kind of a freak type of injury. I don't exactly know what happened, but it happened.
When did it happen? What were you doing?
So I think we were actually running outside, and I took a wrong turn, but I didn't really notice anything bad then. Like, basketball players always have injuries, or not injuries, soreness. So I just thought it was us running, but it turned out it was more than that.
And kind of derailed your season.
Yeah, for sure it did.
Is there a chance that you get to come back and play this season? What's the timing on all of this?
Not this season.
Okay.
So my recovery is a total of 6 months, and I'm about a little bit over 2 now through it. So, yeah.
What is the hardest part about your rehab? We asked Kyndall about hers. What's the story on your rehab?
I kind of agree with Kyndall. It's more about the mindset that you go in with it. I think I've been very good with just being attention to detail and just making sure that I get what I need to do done and regaining my strength. I was also out of walking for 6 weeks, so that was something that was really hard. And again, I've never been injured really, so this whole process is very, very new to me. But yeah, I think I've been handling it good.
Did you end up with a cute scooter?
No, see, I got the short end of the bargain. I got the crutches. But, you know, it did what it needed to do.
Yeah. How was your Christmas?
It was really good. So I'm from down the street. I'm from Spring, Texas. So it's about an hour drive home. So I get to go home pretty frequently, thankfully. But I always love going home and seeing the Christmas lights. That's my favorite part of Christmas. And, you know, we did it again this year. So
The Christmas lights at your house or just in the neighborhood?
No. See, we don't do Christmas lights at our house, but we drive around Houston to go see some. So.
What's the best neighborhood to do that? What's the best part of town to do that in?
I think Houston is a really big city, so you can pretty much find Christmas lights anywhere. But we typically go to River Oaks, which is, I want to say, the nicer part of Houston.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that's where we always go to.
So as you judge house to house, so how do you pass judgment on what's good, bad, they could have done better, or how do you judge those? The Christmas lights.
I think a big part for us is whether they are connected to a radio station, because you know how you always see those cool lights that go with the music and they light up when somebody sings and they dim down when they don't. So that's automatically like a 10 out of 10. If not, it's kind of the amount of lights, different colors, it's different for everybody, because it's not just me. It's, my sister, her husband, my mom, my dad. So.
Do you does the yard need to have a bunch of yard art in it, or does this all need to be attached to the house and the tree?
So for me personally, I don't like inflatables. I rather you have like decorated lights around your house.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And these ones with the FM radio stations, I mean, those are pretty entertaining. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody likes to go and sit in that street in that cul-de-sac. Would you like one of these next to your house or at your house?
No. Not at all.
Why?
I just feel like that would be very, very annoying, because, it'll be bright a little bit, but then it'll go dim, and then, I think they'll turn the lights off, and they're just really just pausing in the song. So I don't think I would like that very much.
See, I would think I wouldn't want it, because I don't want the traffic on my street and these people just sitting out for endless hours and clogging up the street.
Yeah, for sure.
Something eerie about it.
It doesn't make me feel safe.
So how long do you sit and watch one of these houses that's got the musical radio station going on? What's a good length of time?
I try to finish a song. So most songs are about 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm gonna try to finish a song. But if the traffic starts, filling
so
up,
one song is 2 songs too many?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Wait.
How many people have stayed for 3 or more songs here? Yeah, Elizabeth has done that, and see how far the radio station will go past the next house, right? And how many years you guys been doing that and made that a tradition?
Oh, I've been doing it as long as I can remember, since I was a kid. So.
I can't believe you guys don't have lights on your house. That is fascinating.
We used to, yeah.
Did you guys eat anything good?
We always have good ham. I'm a fan of ham over turkey. I'm sorry if nobody likes that.
Sure.
I'm a fan of ham and dressing too. So.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that. So what do you think about you're having to watch from the sidelines this season? What do you think about what your teammates are accomplishing?
Oh, I think it's amazing. After coming off a season like we had last year, it's amazing to start like how we did. Being able to watch off the sideline is actually pretty good. I like seeing all the different details, seeing how people make their moves, so I could tell my teammates. So it's just a different viewpoint, but I'm still playing my part.
Remind us what you're studying at A&M.
Okay, so I'm a technology management major, which is a lot, I know, but it's basically business mixed with like programming and technology.
And what would you like to do with that?
So right now I want to be a software engineer. So I want to work with firewalls for oil and gas company.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
and how much more do you have to go before you graduate?
So actually I'm planning to graduate this summer, but at the latest it will be the fall. So pretty soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How cool. All right. Jada Malone, everybody. She might be sitting in front of your house one day watching your fancy lights. How about that? Sure. All right. We're live from Rudy's Barbecue. It's the Joni Taylor Radio Show from Learfield. This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by Texas A&M University. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of Texas A&M University and Learfield. Announcers are provided by Learfield and Texas A&M University. We're back with our remaining moments with Joni Taylor. It is the Joni Taylor Radio Show. I'm Steve Miller. Texas A&M at Georgia this Thursday, 6 o'clock, and then host Auburn Sunday at 3 o'clock. And this will be the first time that you guys go back to Georgia. The schedule makers didn't have that in the plans last year, the way it all shook out. But what are your feelings about going back to Athens? The team is obviously radically different there than not many players, I don't believe, are left from that you may have coached. Is that accurate?
I think four. I think there's four. There's still four. It's the next game on the schedule.
Yeah.
You know, I was there 11 years. There's a lot of people in Athens that I love dearly and have great relationships with, and it'll be good to see them. It's just like I played at Alabama. When I go to Alabama, it's the next game on our schedule. I worked there for 2 years also. So for me, I go right into game mode, competition mode. It's a business trip. So it won't be my first time back to Athens. Right. I went this summer to visit a friend. It won't be my first time back into the gym and in the atmosphere. But again, my mind will be on what we need to do to win a game. That's right.
It'll be easier, talk to you after the game, if you will, folks. Just kind of keep everybody at that arm's length. What are you expecting for you guys to need to do against Georgia?
So Georgia has a really unique 3-2 zone, matchup zone, and they play it really well. And they muck it up, make it hard for you to make passes. They cup it a little bit and try to take away, passes down below and passes into the paint. And so we've got to do a really good job of taking care of the basketball. They force a ton of turnovers. They're going to press the entire game. So for us, handling their pressure and then being able to score against their zone is going to be top of mind. Javon Nicholson's playing really well for them right now, and Zoisha Smith. And so we've got to make sure we know where they are at all times. And then they've got 10 players averaging double-figure minutes in playing time. And so we've got to know their personnel and be ready to guard multiple actions.
I remember Javon is 15 points a game. And, Georgia is sitting at 78 in the net. They're 9-4 overall. Their last game was December 30th. They beat Wofford 76-57. We do have a common opponent in Purdue. Now, they played Purdue November 22nd out in the Bahamas tournament and beat Purdue 65-57. We just saw some Purdue highlights against Maryland. Anything you can judge by comparing both of these teams so early against a common opponent?
Yeah, not much. I obviously watched their game against Purdue. We're totally different since then. Purdue didn't look anything. Of course, you watch it and they don't look anything against Georgia like they looked against us. So totally different. But Georgia's played a tough schedule. They also played Duke in the ACC SEC Challenge, lost that in overtime. So they're battle tested. They're at home. It's the first conference game. Everybody wants to come out and make a statement. So it's going to be a dogfight. They're very blue collar, and they know who they are, and they stick to their identity, and they do it well.
Sometimes we see more and more teams. It's been in the men's game for quite a while, but maybe someone on the women's side where teams just don't go on the road during non-conference play. They may play one tournament. Okay, that's all the road games are going to play. That's not the schedule you guys did this year. You went on the road and played people. How will that help you as you start conference play on the road as opposed at home?
We needed it. We just knew that we were going to have a completely different team, a completely different look, and we needed to be battle tested. We tried to put them in as many. Our players like to say, "You like chaos, don't you?" Yes, I do, because I want to be able to function in chaos. Right? How uncomfortable can we make you? We want you comfortable being uncomfortable, and we knew playing on the road was going to be really good for us. You're right. A lot of times now you can go to a Thanksgiving tournament or a Christmas tournament and play 3 quality opponents and then play the rest of your schedule at home. And that wasn't going to get us what we needed. So I think for the team we have and the timing we had, this was a perfect non-conference schedule for us.
Yeah, good preparation as the Aggies keep fluctuating, but right now sitting at is about 24 in the net, which is third best in the SEC behind South Carolina and LSU. And then looking ahead to Sunday, Auburn 11-2 overall, and they did lose to Cal, which is a common opponent. But right now they've won 8 straight. They get Tennessee on Thursday night.
Yeah, they've had success against Tennessee. It's crazy in this league. You've got some teams that just match up funny with each other, and that Tennessee-Auburn game is one of them. They've had some success against them. That's another team. These 2 teams back-to-back are good for us because Auburn's going to press us the entire game. Auburn plays a 3-2 zone. It's not exactly like Georgia, so we're going to see some commonalities in both of those games.
All right, and so we want you to feel better. We know you've been battling a little bit under the weather, and so hopefully this will be in almost in 100% strength come Thursday.
Yes, we're going to claim that.
Perfect. All right, Joni, good luck this weekend. The Aggies take on Georgia 6 o'clock on Thursday. All right, our thanks to Nancy Mulkey, Jada Malone, and Kyndall Hunter, and to our engineers Kevin Minchow and Tony O'Neill back in Jefferson City. For Coach Joni Taylor, I'm Steve Miller. Have a great night, everybody. This has been the Joni Taylor Radio Show from Learfield.